Alright, everybody. So, it's been a while. I don't know. I should probably get back into, twice weekly uploads. But, as of lately, there has been news of a brand new rebalance. I think the 6th wave that Plarium has done. And, honestly, I don't know if I should be disappointed. Or not. Obviously, the main deal with it is definitely going to affect a lot about the game. Gonna change up so much, with literally everybody. And if you already know, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. But you haven't heard yet, Plarium will be nerfing the reload implant for Stormwrath. The almighty Stormwrath reload implant that takes it down from 11 seconds to 5.5, a whole 50% cooldown for the Stormwraths. And that's going to basically kill the onslaught that used to be Stormwraths. They're going to take it down from -50 to the standard -30. So Stormwraths will have a 7.7 second reload instead of the 5.5 second reload. That's going to change a lot. It's also a huge bummer for players who recently invested quite a bit into the weapon and the implant, me being one of them. It hasn't been too long since I got reload implants, as well as duplicating the 10, 12, and 16 energy variants of Stormwrath. I've also maxed both the implants, which did take quite a while, and I was very excited for that. But it's not gonna matter, because they're not gonna be as effective. So that's the biggest part of it. There's gonna be some more things. Primarily Silverthorn is getting ability changes. I don't remember the specifics. I'll try to find them and put them up on screen. But I believe it's dealing with the stasis, or not the stasis, the damage, and the overall mechanic, how it's fired. I know for sure that it's going to be getting like an auto-targeting feature added to it, which is actually going to be pretty cool. And I believe it's going to be getting shield pierce as well, which I think is really neat. But I think it will still, Orion will still be better than Silverthorn. In fact, I think Silverthorn's shield pierce will only be about 50%. I'm not so sure about the specifics. But, yeah, Silverthorn is going to be pushed, possibly to where it's playable, where Silverthorn can actually be played in actual matches. Obviously, it's not going to be like top meta competitive ranks, but it will still be, it will still be better than it used to be, which I think is pretty nice. So players that do have Silverthorn can invest in it. Those who don't, if you like, I assume there's gonna be like an event around it, like some sort of crate rush or something like that. I'm not too sure. There were also what is really a huge bummer is that there's not going to be like any form of compensation to players who have invested in. Oh, hold on. That reminds me. Oh my God, what the hell? That reminds me that charge rockets are getting a buff. They don't need it. They never did need it. They're getting a damage buff and a mechanics change. Charge rockets will be... Their firing mechanic will be completely reworked and will now be able to be used on mobile. At least better on mobile. That means a lot for players like me and others who play mobile but are limited because they can't use charge rockets. Because of how even PC players were struggling to use charge rocket to its fullest because it was just not practical. I mean, it is obviously a practical weapon. It's a very good weapon. The speed boost is fantastic. But like it's gonna be so much better. I have the 8 and 10 energy variants for it, and can be using those on things like Shadow, which benefits quite a bit from it. My Eclipse isn't up very high yet, but I can also use charge rockets on Eclipse. They're going to be so much better. There's going to be, for players who either don't have Storm Rack, or haven't invested too much into it, charge rockets are going to be a great alternative. In fact, they're probably going to take over as the best weapon, as the best missile weapon. And it's gonna, I don't want to say it's gonna ruin a lot, but it's certainly gonna change so much. I personally don't like charge rocket at all. In fact, I'm quite against a lot of the meta. Obviously, I've been using Storm Racks for a very long time, but those might be taken out of the meta. I'll still use them. In fact, I love my Storm Racks a lot. I'll still use them, but that does also open up a lot of possibilities. Storm Racks won't be the like topmost weapon anymore, topmost missile weapon. Players can spend their time going after other missile weapons, like for instance charge rocket. Thanks to this new buff, all players will be able to use it. When the update releases, when the next rebalance releases September 4th, I will for sure be throwing charge rockets on Shadow and having having a huge blast with them. It'll give me a chance to figure out how to use the weapon. I've never really been able to because I don't play on PC. I'm strictly mobile for now. But as I was saying, players can invest into other missile weapon alternatives, such as one of my personal favorites, Disruptor. Great weapon, it's so much fun, and honestly, if all players knew how to use it, it would probably be a really interesting change of pace, for sure. there's obviously a learning curve to it. It's not the easiest weapon to master. Even I've struggled to get really good at using it. But it's definitely going to be a change of pace for the game, for sure. Yeah, no, it's going to open up a lot of different opportunities for players, and that's also one less weapon free-to-play players have to like worry about getting their hands on. I spent so long figuring out how I was going to really truly get my hands on a Stormrack reload. I just ended up buying them, $20 a pop, because I've never seen them in my shop, the implant shop. I've never, they've never been available like how Epics are. Can't just buy them straight from the implant section. Like, that's one less implant free-to-play players have to worry about. I mean, if you get it, sweet. If you already have it, good for you. But, like, it's really gonna set the bar for how comp is and top matches are to be played. Stormracks had their run, I guess. I knew they were going to be nerfed, or something about them was going to be nerfed eventually. But as the game is getting faster, the devs have been slowing down other things, and making way for... They've been speeding up everything about the game. Every single new update, as of late, has always been some sort of change to the speeds of something. Let's see. Yeah, Redox, Outlaw. Lots of the recent mechs have been buffed and had their speed changed. Charge rockets introduced a whole new factor of speed. As well as everything that's been nerfed, like cooldown duration-wise. Surge, Eclipse. Revoker was nerfed, as a change to how fast players were killed. All sorts of weapons were given damage buffs. You know, the game is changing quite fast, and sometimes it's a bit hard to keep up with. Definitely very sad to hear Stormrack's implant is getting a nerf. The weapon itself won't be getting nerfed. It's just the implant. Which, honestly, it's a little upsetting. Like, you killed one of the only unique things that Stormrack has going for it. You just completely killed it and erased it from the game, which is a little bit much. It's kind of like how they killed Eclipse and Revoker, with how they were. They really hard targeted Eclipse and Revoker, and now they've been really hard on Stormrack. They're really trying to clear the way for a new meta, which, yeah, sure, change is good. After they nerfed Disc Launcher and added mods, which nerfed basically all of the sniper weapons and got rid of the sniper meta. Now they're killing the Stormrack meta after killing the Revoker meta. Sad to see it go, but it's still going to be useful, just not how it used to be. Charge rockets will definitely be the biggest replacement. I feel like they're going to nerf charge rocket soon, at least damage-wise. I feel like charge rockets never deserved a buff to the damage. All it needed was a firing mechanic change, and that would have been plenty. They did that. That's all they had to do. That kind of really buffed it in general. It allowed it to be used by more players, as well as just improve its overall effectiveness, which I think was damage buff enough. Also, don't think Stormrack should have been killed as hard as it was. The 7.7 second reload after going from 5.5 to 7.7 is very rough. At least in my opinion, for sure. I feel like maybe taking it down 10% instead of a whole 20 probably would have been better. It would have been more around a 6-second reload, I think, like 6.8. And it would have been unique for sure. The only weapon with a 40-second reload cooldown implant. I think would have been pretty cool opportunity to have something as unique as that. Yeah, definitely just rough for the game as a whole. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Just sad to see it go. It was gonna happen. Just didn't think it would happen like this. But all good things come to an end. And things like Revoker was, or not Revoker, Stormrack was one of those good things. I wasn't ever too sad about Revoker's nerf. I didn't ever invest too much into it. Was pretty sad about Eclipse and Surge's nerf because I was very excited to get them up really high and really invest into them. Yeah, no, those are my final thoughts. Didn't really deserve as heavy as a nerf. Charge Rocket didn't need a damage buff. Silverthorn's buff is going to be pretty interesting to those who do own it. And, just gotta wait to see how it'll play. Stormrax being out of the heavy use as they were, definitely gonna open up quite a bit. Give disruptors a chance, maybe, hopefully. I know those aren't super heavily used. They're very fun. I love disruptors a lot. Recently got the 12 duped, got them on Redeemer. When you get the 16 duped to use it on Mimicker. There's been a lot that I haven't ever recorded. That's why my hanger keeps changing so drastically. I got Stormrack 12, I bought that. I've got a clip of that somewhere. I've got the clip saved somewhere in my phone. I might post the shorts. I might have to start posting shorts if I want to get my channel more widespread. I know that's how it would most of y'all kids. At least the younger ones who probably watch my videos. It might be the people who keep commenting on my 4th of July video. Yo, bro, send me some A-coins. Send me some resources. Gift me, please. Sure, that's only been like 3 people, but like, what do you think? I'm made of money. That was a 4th of July special thing. Was never supposed to be as big as it was. Supposed to be like, it was mostly just a thing to say, to be like, yo, I got all this stuff, and it went by super quickly. It's how fast I spent it all. That's like the entire point of it. But now people think I'm just made of money now. I mean, sure, I kind of am, I guess. Which is how I was able to get all of my stuff up. I got Savant 12. I bought Savant 12 from the Gear Hub. As expensive as that was. I got Blockhorn up to rank 6. I got Overdriver 12 up to rank 5. I got Overdriver 12 and duped that. I think that's about the latest that I have to mention. But yeah, very excited to see how the next rebalance will play out for sure. Honestly, I don't know whether to be excited or disappointed. Definitely going to be an experience for sure. But that's it from me. Guess I'll catch y'all later. Peace.